I had a routine back then, one I followed without thinking. Almost every night after my shift at the diner, I stopped at the same small corner store just outside town. It sat right where the streetlights ended and the back roads began. A lonely square of light surrounded by darkness. I'd grab a soda, maybe put a little gas in the car, then head home. It felt safe because it was familiar. That night, I was exhausted in a way that settled into my bones. My feet ached, my head throbbed, and all I wanted was my bed. I pulled up beside Pump 3 and sat there for a second, staring at the store through my windshield. Inside, I could see Mr. Ellis behind the counter, straightening shelves, humming softly to himself like he always did. Mr. Ellis had worked there for as long as I could remember. He knew everyone's name, asked about kids, about parents, about work. He had one of those calm, steady voices that made you feel like the world wasn't quite as bad as it seemed. The bell jingled when I walked in. Evening. "Miss Linda," he said with a warm smile. "Long night?" "Too long," I replied, forcing a tired grin. "I'll take 20 on Pump 3. I reached for my purse and my stomach dropped. I checked again. My jacket. My pockets. "Oh," I said. Embarrassed, I left my purse in the car. "I'll be right back." Mr. Ellis waved his hand. "No rush. Take your time." I stepped back outside. The air felt colder than before, heavier. As I reached into my car and grabbed my purse, I noticed someone standing near the store entrance. A young man, tall, thin, wearing a dark jacket zipped all the way up, even though it wasn't that cold. He wasn't pumping gas, wasn't on his phone, wasn't smoking, just standing there, shifting slightly, his hands buried deep in his pockets. Something about it made my skin prickle. He glanced toward the road, then away again. I told myself not to overthink it. People waited for rides all the time. But when I turned back toward the store, I noticed someone else inside now. A shorter, stockier man leaning casually against the counter, laughing with Mr. Ellis like they were old friends. I slowed my steps. The tall man outside shifted again, his shoulders tense, his jaw tight. He looked like a stretched wire, ready to snap. Then everything happened so fast, my mind couldn't keep up. In one smooth, practiced motion, he pulled a gun from his jacket and slipped through the door. I froze through the glass. I saw Mr. Ellis pause mid, his smile fading as the gun was pressed against his head. "Give me the money," the man snapped. Mr. Ellis didn't argue. He didn't panic. He raised his hand slowly, carefully. "Okay," he said, his voice shaking but calm. "Okay, just stay calm." He turned and opened the register. It popped open with a dull sound that echoed too loudly in the small store. There wasn't much inside, just a handful of bills. He scooped them up and handed them over. The stocky man reached across the counter, ripping a rack of lottery tickets free and stuffing them into his jacket. "That's it," he muttered. "That all you got?" I knew then this wasn't enough. The tall man nodded once, and then he fired. The sound was deafening, like the air itself had exploded. Mr. Ellis jerked backward and disappeared. Behind the counter, before I could even scream, 2 more shots rang out sharp. Brutal. Final. I clamped my hand over my mouth, my legs trembling so badly I thought I'd fall. The men turned toward the door. I stumbled backward in blind panic. The tall one saw me. Our eyes met for a fraction of a second. His gaze was empty, flat, like I wasn't even a person to him. He raised the gun. I turned and ran. A shot cracked behind me. Something hissed past my ear and slammed into the ground. Pain exploded in my shoulder, hot and blinding. Another shot followed so close, I felt the air shift. I dove behind my car, curling against the pavement, pressing my face into the concrete, certain I was about to die. Footsteps thundered past, an engine roared. Tires screamed, then silence. I lay there shaking, my whole body buzzing, my shoulder burning, blood soaking through my shirt. When I finally forced myself up, the store door was still open. Light spilling out into the dark. "Mr. Ellis." I called, stumbling inside. The register stood open. Lottery tickets were scattered across the floor. Behind the counter, he lay on his side. His eyes were open but unfocused. Blood pooled beneath him, spreading slowly. He lifted one hand weakly, like he was trying to wave or reach for something. A wet sound came from his throat. "Oh no," I whispered, tears blurring everything. "Oh no." I tried to grab the phone. Dropped it. My hands wouldn't work. My mind screamed at me to run, so I did. I drove until I saw a house with lights on and pounded on the door. Screaming for help, the sirens came quickly. Too quickly, not quickly enough. Mr. Ellis was already gone. Later, they told me the bullets hit his stomach. He never had a chance. The men were caught days later, and uncle and his nephew, angry, impatient, cruel. In court, the tall one never looked up. The uncle stared straight at me, his eyes empty of regret. They got life. They called it justice. The store has new owners now. New lights, fresh paint. I don't stop there anymore. Some nights, I still hear the gunshots, still feel the sting in my shoulder, still see Mr. Ellis lifting his hand, trying to say something he never got to finish. Now, I lock my doors tighter, and I always watch the shadows. By early evening, I already knew something was wrong. My body felt heavy, feverish, like every movement required more effort than it should. The kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from work, but from being sick. I tried to ignore it, but when my head started pounding and my throat burned, I knew I needed medicine. The grocery store was only a few minutes from my apartment. It was late to almost closing time, and I parked close to the entrance, wanting to be in and out as fast as possible. The lot was quiet, only a few cars scattered far apart. Inside, the store felt half asleep. Fluorescent lights buzzed softly. A tired cashier rang me up without looking up. Tea, cold medicine, a bottle of water. I paid, shoved the receipt into my purse, and stepped back outside, already picturing my bed. That was when the night shifted. I had just unlocked my car when someone stepped out of the darkness beside me. 1 second, the space was empty. The next, he was there, tall, broad-shouldered, moving with purpose. His face was hard, unfamiliar, his eyes fixed on me. Before I could react, I felt cold metal press into my side. "Get in the passenger seat," he said quietly, sharply. The knife pushed harder, just enough to erase any doubt. "Don't scream," he added, "or I'll use this." "Please," I whispered, my hand shaking uncontrollably. "Take the car? I have money. Just let me go." He shook his head once, irritated, and shoved me toward the door. "No, get in now." Everything after that felt unreal, like my mind was watching from somewhere else. He ripped my phone from my hand before I could even think, stuffed it into his pocket, and slid into the driver's seat. The car pulled out of the lot. I sat frozen, staring straight ahead, my heart hammering so loudly I was sure he could hear it. I wondered if anyone had noticed, if anyone had seen us leave, if anyone would remember my car. Street lights blurred past as we drove toward the city. He didn't talk. One hand stayed on the wheel, the other kept the knife close enough that I never forgot it was there. "Where are we going?" I asked finally, my voice barely audible. "What do you want?" "Shut up," he snapped, glancing at me. "You'll find out." I thought about running. At stoplights, at intersections, every time the car slowed, the knife shifted closer. Eventually, he turned onto a dark street near a church. The neighborhood looked abandoned, boarded windows, cracked sidewalks, no movement anywhere. He stopped the car and turned to me. "Get out." My legs felt weak as I stepped onto the pavement. He grabbed my arm and dragged me behind the building, into deep shadow where no one could see us. What happened there broke something inside me. I cried. I begged. I told him about my family, my life, anything I thought might make him stop. He didn't. When it was over, he stood up and adjusted his clothes like nothing had happened. "I need to hit a place," he said casually. "Bankhead Highway. You know how to get there." I nodded, numb, but somewhere inside me, a small, fragile spark of clarity flickered. "I can find it," I said carefully, "but I need my phone for directions." He studied me for a long moment. Then he pulled my phone out and handed it back, the knife still visible in his other hand. "Don't try anything." My fingers trembled as I opened the map app while pretending to search for directions. I quickly shared my location with my boyfriend and typed a message as fast as I could. "Help. Kidnapped. Track me." Then I turned the screen toward him. "This way." He took the phone back and drove. My boyfriend got the message and called the police immediately. They began tracking the signal. We reached Bankhead Highway and stopped near a gas station. "Stay quiet," he said, popping the trunk. "Get in." Panic surged through me. "Please," I begged. "It's too small. I can't breathe." "Get in," he snarled, shoving me forward. The trunk slammed shut. Darkness swallowed me whole. I lay there shaking, my thoughts spiraling. What if he leaves me here? What if no one finds me? After a few minutes, The trunk opened again. He sounded irritated. "Clerks behind bulletproof glass," he muttered. "Can't do it with just a knife." He yanked me out. "Get back in the car." We drove to another store. Again, he forced me into the trunk. Again, darkness. Again, waiting. I listened to my own breathing, clinging to the hope that anyone was getting closer. He returned soon after, swearing under his breath. Security guard inside? Not worth it. He moved me to the back seat. This time we wait until morning. Hours crawled by. The city felt abandoned. The car idled in a forgotten corner of the street. I tried to talk, to reach whatever humanity might still exist inside him. "You can stop," I said softly. "Just let me go. I won't tell anyone." He laughed. Cold, empty. That ship sailed. I didn't see them coming. Suddenly, red and blue lights exploded across the windows. Sirens pierced the night. He cursed and bolted from the car, disappearing into the dark. Doors flew open. Officers rushed toward me. "It's okay," one of them said gently, meeting my eyes. "You're safe now." I broke down sobbing as they helped me out and wrapped a blanket around my shoulders. Paramedics checked me while I told the officers everything I could remember. They caught him not long after, hiding nearby. He had recently been released from prison and was taken back into custody, this time facing far more serious charges. That night changed me forever. The fear didn't disappear overnight, but neither did the strength I found when I needed it most. I trusted my instincts. I used the one chance I had, and I survived.